Hey guys, it's Rodney, and you guys have been asking for it, so we're gonna do a quick little chicken coop tour, and I guess garden tour. So let's go.
Hey babe, what are you wearing?
My work shorts.
No. What are those?
These are my Camel Mill socks, or Camel City socks. They're freaking magical, and they're today's video sponsor. You should definitely go and check them out. They've helped keep my feet cool and dry in 100-degree weather, and warm when it's freaking cold out, and still dry. These shoes don't even. These are my coop shoes. They have no breathability, and my feet are still dry and not sweaty in these socks. Check them out in the link in the description below. Now let's go. Let's go tour this coop. Hi, ladies. All right, so there's a couple of big features for us in the chicken coop that we wanted to make sure worked really well, and one of those, first and foremost, was the aesthetic. We really didn't want something country. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's not just our personal style, and we really wanted it to blend in with a lot of the other architecture around that, in the landscape and the house that we've done. So one of the things that we didn't want was a really traditional looking chicken coop. Again, nothing wrong with those, it just didn't fit our style. So you'll notice right out the gate is it's pretty kind of sleek, linear, and modern in its look and its aesthetic, and everything is concealed, which was another really big piece for me personally. I'm not a big snake fan, and I didn't want to find a snake in here because I didn't want to have to burn the chickens to the ground. So everything is concealed, including the storage. So for starters, let's start over there and we'll work our way through. On this end of the chicken coop, we have basically built in a storage closet. So this storage closet houses everything for us, from nesting boxes to our little water tower to our feeding. We've seen a lot of these DIY 4-inch drainage tubes for the feed. They work really, really well. It did take a little bit of finessing to make it work for our space, but we got it figured out. We also did the Rent-A-Coop water cups. They're really awesome, and this has worked really, really well in here. It's kept them really clean and virtually no maintenance for us. We just fill up our 5-gallon bucket here. What's also nice is in the summer, I can also add a little bit of ice to cool the water down, and it's all stored in there. But most important for me was the fact that we can get our nesting boxes stored in here as well. So we've got 2 upper and 2 lower nesting boxes in here with the clips, kind of a double security too, I guess, for us. We end up with our 2 nesting boxes. Really easy for the girls to get to from the inside, and really easy for us to get to from the outside here. Just a lot less maintenance, and again, visually looking at the coop, because we're so close to our outdoor living, it's just a lot less clutter to see. The other thing the other thing that this does for us here is it also gives us additional food storage. So we keep things like worms and treats, as well as their chicken food and chicken scratch is all in here. And then to take it one step further, because we're kind of crazy like that, we've also run full electrical through this whole coop. So one of the big things to start, a light. It seems really silly during the day to have this, but time change for the winter season and it just gets dark early, or you're just needing to do something late in the evening or really early in the morning, we've got a light. It has been so nice to have. It lights up this whole area, honestly. The other thing that we did is we've got another 2 switches because we've got a light on the exterior. We've got the Lutron smart switch here, which is dimmable for our exterior light. And then we've also got a light on the interior of the coop. That has also been a big game changer for us compared to some of the other designs that we've seen. And then we've got a double gang outlet here, as well as a double gang outlet down here. What we plan on using for this in the future is some sort of like chicken cam. Jake is very techy and he would love to see the chickens from inside the coop, so we had to give him an outlet for that.
Also, the heater.
But most important, what it has come in handy for is our heater for winter time, and then we're still trying to work out a fan to get some air movement for summer. So if we do need one that's plugged in, we've got an outlet accessible for that. And then all of the electrical is run through conduit. The only conduit that actually goes inside the coop where the girls can get to it is, of course, the light for the coop. Everything else is either on the exterior or just fully protected where they can't get to it. So storage 101 makes it really easy, and our overhang roof here has been really great because it has been drizzly and I've had to come out and feed the girls in the morning, and while I'm under here, I'm actually fully undercover. So that's also been a huge plus. And once the door is closed, it is totally secure and concealed. This top little corner here, because we did, you know, just a single gable or the shed style roof. The top gable up here, we just did with the same 1/4 inch hardware cloth that we did throughout the rest, just to have some airflow in that storage area, because this is Texas and it is going to get hot. Now on the exterior here, we just did the standard siding in a vertical piece here, but we did add in some planters just for fun. Right now we've got some time in both of these actually. Nothing in the third one just yet, still trying to figure out what to put in there. This door will access the interior of the coop for us, and then this door accesses the run on this side. Exterior light has been really great. I'll put a link to this one in the Amazon below, because this is a full 360 light as far as reflecting back to the wall. So it's been a really nice soft glow in the evenings to have. It's just enough light to walk around, but not enough to interrupt the girls in their sleep. So let's check out the inside of the coop. So inside here, first thing that I think is the greatest are these Rent-A-Coop watering cups. We put 2 on the interior, and then we'll see the other 4 down below. I'll also link those in the description below. But these guys automatically fill with water, and again, it has just stayed so clean compared to the other waterers we've used. Our little DIY feeder here lets the girls get access to the food. They don't eat a whole lot overnight, but I was an open pantry kid, so I wanted to make sure they had access to food, you know? The nesting boxes have worked out well. These could have been any shape. We just decided to do circles. I don't remember why. I think we just wanted to, so we did. So we kind of made it kind of an egg or circle shape to those. And then there is a roost bar for them to easily jump up. So far, they have really preferred that bottom right one. So we'll see if they ever start using all of them. And then, of course, you've got to have your roost bars. And for us, one of the main things for our interior of the coop is we wanted to make sure everything was super easy to clean. So we've got a large door here with a ceiling height that I can basically stand up in. So we can get in through this door, but we put a small hatch door across the back, which is going to allow us to push all the bedding out when we need to. We are doing the deep litter method inside here with the bedding, so we rotate that every few weeks. But that back door is the same height as a wheelbarrow, so we can push it all out the back, and it dumps right into a wheelbarrow. And then our roosting bars are actually attached to the roof rafter, keeping all of the legs off of the bottom here, and then they attach to the wall that's shared with the coop run. So there's nothing underneath here that I need to clean up, and there's no folding up or down of a roost. It's worked really well for us so far. I did put this extra bar on the side just for side-to-side stability, and once I put that in, these guys don't move at all. So we've got about a 9-inch gap in between them. This is about a 9-inch gap on this one. That is a 6-inch gap and a 6-inch gap to the floor. And then we did the 2 tallest roosts at the same height up here. And the reason that we did that is just so that they have plenty of room side by side. And then it's a full 36 inches from here to the exterior wall where they can kind of all nest together. So actually 4 of them can fit side by side with plenty of room. And then for venting for the interior, which is super duper important, we did a low vent on the back wall. On the back side is the large shrubs. It's always in the shade, so it's always naturally cooler. So we put that lower wall so that we can get some cross breeze. And then we did a large rectangular window here across the front. Aesthetics, we just put in the additional Clay Imports breeze blocks that we had. And then of course across the top, because you don't want that hot air stuck between your rafters, we've got 3 holes per each here. And those guys are allowing that hot air to vent out in the hottest months of the year. And of course, our coop light so that we can see what we're doing. Again, I never want to find a surprise snake, so the coop light comes in handy. Now, for the run over here, we did, so I guess let's talk about how the girls get in here. So when they first get up in the morning, we are using the Run Chicken automatic door. It's been super awesome. We did the brown color because we knew we were going to paint the exterior of the coop the same color as the house. Again, just aesthetically it works for us. So I did the brown color and it's worked out really well. We haven't run into a single problem with this so far, knock on wood. But this was plenty large enough for them to get in and out. Even with the bedding kind of getting stuck in the track like this, it still manages to get a nice secure close each time. So really haven't had any troubles with it or much to say about it. It's been awesome so far. This is the interior or the exterior wall of the coop. So on the back side here, we've got their coop. So underneath, it is all fully open. So down here we took full advantage, and Jake had come up with the idea, just like the cross breeze we did for the interior, the back wall here we left exposed. We are getting cooler breeze coming from the lower side, and then on the front wall we left that solid all the way down to the base. A little bit of privacy, but it also kind of hides some of the mess. And so we took advantage of this cooler space to do things like we do their flock blocks and treats, but the lower feeder as well as the Rent-A-Coop watering cups all come down in this lower space here. So it's also nice and protected from them out of those really high windy days, but also if it's hot, they love to come in here and lay because it is a hell of a lot cooler. Now, for the run space, we had double 2x4s for the coop and the run walls coming together. So I took advantage of those for the grit and the oyster feeders. So far, those have worked out really, really well. So I'll make sure to link those as well. They came with the refill packages and everything. So far, it's been really great. But the run itself, we used some of the scrap wood to make their own ramp. It's not quite as steep as the normal ramps. I made it a little bit longer on purpose, and that's mostly because for whatever reason, our chickens just walk halfway down it and then fly away anyways. So I tried to make it as flat, I guess, as I possibly could. And then another thing that Jake had seen that he really liked that we integrated was this interior composter. And so the best way to really handle this is make sure it's on an exterior wall for proper airflow. But the idea is we put some compost down at the base, and then any kitchen scraps that they can eat that maybe I can't put on some of the feeders around the coop, I'll toss those in here. And so the putting the kitchen scraps in here that they can eat will also attract things like bugs. It also gives us additional compost. So far the girls have really loved it. They also, because it's the same 1/4 inch mesh, they can still get their beaks in there, so they still pull stuff out. Every once in a while too, I'll put some seeds in there and we'll have some random plants sprouting out that kind of start growing out of the side. And it just gives them, again, more kind of herbaceous material to get a hold of. Now, the base of the run in here, we did do the deep bedding method on the interior, but for the exterior, we've done the sand. We are going to continue top dressing it. We've kind of realized that we didn't do it quite as thick maybe as we should have. So we are going to get a top dress in here, but it has made it so much easier to keep clean compared to our old run that we had. So the sand has definitely been helpful. It's so easy to scoop. It also gives the girls kind of a dust bath because that's really helpful for them, for their oils and mites and things. So they have seemed to really enjoy it as well. Now, another big feature for the days that we can't let them free range in the yard or we're at work or what have you, we have used our cedar logs here to create kind of a ladder. So what I've done is I've used a couple of cutoffs here and attached it to a leaning post, and so it allows them to kind of jump up. And then I've got one that's about waist high here, which is kind of the midway point for the coop structure. So that one sits nice and secure. And then we decided to add one more up on the higher side, and two of them seem to just love to perch up here during the days. Even on some of the windy days, they're like pushed right up against the screen and just enjoying the breeze. So I think they've really enjoyed this. Honestly, they have taken to the natural wood so much better than in our first coop, which was 2x4s only. They seem to really appreciate the kind of the natural wood here. So I don't know if it's the cedar, it's just softer, it's just better for them, more natural. But they really have taken to this. And then we also then added a couple on this side that they can get to from their ramp. And the reason that we did that is I wanted a little shelf to put some extra treats. So we're able to kind of put some worms and treats around in different varying heights inside the run. And it's a little bit more enhancement for them. They get to enjoy it a little bit more. And then the run ceiling is actually greenhouse plastic. So they get plenty of natural light. Thankfully, we are under a large shade tree here, so it provides a lot of shade during our hottest months, but the natural light has been really nice. The sound of the rain and branches and sticks falling doesn't seem to really bother them at all, so we've not been too worried about it. But that's worked out really, really well as well. Another thing that I would definitely highlight for our coop are the locks. So we do have a lot of raccoons, and it's important to have a really secure lock, but at the same time, we wanted one that was easy for us to use. So we've just done these standard gate locks, or handles, I guess, that are sliders, and then picked up a pack of carabiner clips. And this is really what locks the handle in place. The raccoons cannot figure this out, so not very predator, or we're not worried about predators in that way. The other thing is it also has worked really well for little ones. We've got nephews, we've got friends with young kiddos, and they want to see the chickens and they get excited, but this way they can't get in there without us knowing about it. And in our process of being bougie, we also included an outlet on the run out here, because in the future what we're thinking is maybe to run some, small LED Christmas lights around the top of this, just again for that winter season for us. These guys will go to bed a little earlier as it gets dark earlier, but since we're typically still up, some light to help clean out and be able to just see better will be really helpful.
So how about some of the plants that we have along the base of the
Yeah,
coop?
good point. So another great thing about where we've put the coop in our yard is we do have our garden beds and our rain tank on this side. So one of the great things with that is obviously there's a lot of herbs and things that they can eat here. Also, any excess or any leaves I'm having to prune or shape to these plants, I can quickly just put into the interior compost here, and the girls love it. The other benefit is it made total sense for us to place some of the herbs around. Now, chickens use herbs and things that will naturally help them. So we've done lavender, sage, as well as a rosemary and another pineapple sage on the other side, and the chickens love to nibble on them. But the benefit for us is they are things like natural antibiotics, help with their stomach and digestion, upset stomachs, and then I believe one of them is like an antifungal that helps with them too. So for them to nibble on a lot of these is actually really beneficial for their health. So we've planted those around the base. The other thing I hear a lot of people say is that they use things like lavender and rosemary to help with the scent. And though I love that, I am a total plant nerd and I know that's not going to compensate, but it's good in theory. But more beneficial is actually the use to the chicken. So they are actually beneficial for the chicken to have. So as these plants get larger, even if they're not free ranging in the yard, they can actually reach them through the 1/4-inch mesh. So that's why we've kind of placed these guys along the exterior run instead of along the base of the coop itself. Now, another big thing that we wanted to make sure we kind of planned for and took advantage of was easy maintenance. We've got a busy enough schedule as it is, and so for the chicken coop to stay clean, we didn't want it to get messy and gross, but we also didn't want it to be a ton of work or feel like a chore. So on the back side here, this 6-foot width, we basically made this entire lower half a large hatch. We've just put in some fold down legs, so these guys fold up and tuck in when it's folded shut. It's got also a lock with some hinges at the top that hold the weight of this structure. So it makes it really easy to kind of rake everything out of the sand using the coop scoop or a rake. And then the other huge benefit so far is while we're letting the chickens free range, it's actually made a really great hatch for them to come in and out of, because this opens up directly to the kind of like the lawn or native space in the yard. So it's been a really great way for them to have, full access, but also like feel safe coming in and out. That's it for our chicken coop. Overall dimensions are 6 foot by basically 16 foot. It's a little bit larger than 16 foot with just how we did some of the framing, but it's basically 6 by 16, with the coop being 6 by 6, the run being 6 by 8, and the storage is 2 foot by 6 foot. So if you guys have any questions about why we did certain things a certain way, or if you guys want to see a little more about any of the features that we've added into our coop, be sure to let us know in the comments below, and we'd be happy to do a little follow-up video or something for you. So if you like this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that little bell icon to be notified the next time that we post a new video. And as always, we want to give a huge shout out to all of our members. We really appreciate your guys' support. If you're not a member and you guys do want to join or help support the channel, check the link in the description below. Our members get things like behind the scenes footage and early access to some of our videos. And while you're there browsing the web, go ahead and check out rodneyandjake.com, where we've got additional blogs and tips and tricks, as well as our merch store. And as a member, you do get a monthly discount to our merch store. So thank you guys for joining, following along. We'll see you guys next time.